I left a stable music job to pursue creating content on YouTube. I'm Sam Vesley, and this is Tonicized. Hello everyone, welcome to my first ever video here on this channel, Tonicized. Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you, appreciate that. Yes, thank you. I'm so excited for this journey. So why start a YouTube channel? Well, music has been a part of my life forever, and I'm wanting to share all of the things I've learned about it with all of you. I'm a composer, I'm an arranger, I'm a performer, and music's just so powerful. And I really believe that music can change the world if everyone got just a little taste of the magic that it can create. I also want to start building a like-minded music-loving music community here on YouTube and across the planet that I'm going to be calling the Samly.
Oh my God! Wow!
So why start a YouTube channel? Well, I'll tell you the whole story in just a second, but the main reason I want to start a YouTube channel is because I want to share what I know about music with the world. And hopefully, in doing so, we'll build a like-minded music-loving music community that will try to spark musical passion into everyone we meet. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure you're keeping up to date with every single video release. Now, the reason you clicked on this video. I used to work at a company called Pianote, as some of you may know, and it was an amazing time. There was hardworking people who were passionate about music, creating an online community, filming YouTube videos, and everyone was having a good time. But there was something missing, and I wasn't quite sure what that thing was until very recently. So, without further ado, let me tell you the story of my musical journey, how I ended up at Pianote, how I left Pianote, and why I'm sitting here today talking to you in front of a camera. I played a lot of music growing up as a kid, and I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. Well, playing might be a loose term, because I was just, at that age you can't really play much. But I was still learning, and I was still a part of music regardless. I was in piano lessons, I did trumpet and band, I was learning guitar on the side as well, and I even started playing bass and drums right at the end of high school. Now, there's a lot of instruments there that are kind of just all over the place, and I was really kind of confused as to which one I wanted to pursue, which one I wanted to try, or maybe I just did it for a hobby and moved on to something more stereotypically professional or career focused. But essentially, any instrument that I could get my hands on, I would be playing it. And it was so much fun to try and figure it out and piece together what I knew about music already. So after high school, after deciding between pursuing a career in football, which, let's be honest, I'm too small and no. I decided to become a full-time music nerd and enrolled in a 4-year degree program at McEwan University in Edmonton. Now, this was a huge move for me because 1, how do you make a career in music? 2, how do you make a career in music? 3, I had no idea. All I knew was that music was a passion of mine and I needed to pursue it. What I didn't know was that as I went through that program, my goals with music would change. Instead of wanting to become a performer, I realized that I wanted to become a composer so that I could take the things that were in my head, put them on the paper, and get that out into the world so that people would enjoy and basically just listen to the things that I wanted to share. Now, how do you do that? Well, there was a lot of learning, and to say that I was put in a pressure cooker situation would be an understatement. What is a pressure cooker situation? This is what it is. Wow, this is so brand new. I'm so excited to start my new journey and yeah, that's pretty much it. So after 2019, when I graduated, I had no idea what I was going to do with my degree. The options were film composer, which still would be an amazing opportunity, and I'm working towards that goal. The other option would be music educator, going back and getting an ed degree. Well, I kind of don't want to do that. That's a lot of money. It's expensive. School is expensive. And then the final option, entertainer. I love entertaining. I love being in front of crowds. I love meeting people and getting to know them. So how did this all fit together? What could I do to make all of these pieces fit together? Well, I wasn't sure, and I didn't know the answer until I got to the job interview with Pianote. So if you've had a similar situation where you weren't sure what you were going to do with your career, and maybe you kind of relate to some level of this story, let me know in the comments. I would love to see you. I'd love to get to know you and really kind of hear what happened with your life journey. It's so fascinating to me to hear where people end up and how they got there. When I signed up and I said yes, there was a lot of factors that I had to consider. One, I was moving to a different province, which is really, really hard to do. So shout out to my parents for helping me with that. The second thing I had to think about was the relationships I had here. I had currently just been jumped into a relationship and had only been dating for 4 months. So the fact that we were able to push through and actually make it work all these years, shout out to my girlfriend, thank you so much. But also my family, right? I was moving myself away from my family and pursuing my career, and that's a tough thing to do. And I was really nervous about it. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Luckily, my parents and my family are super supportive and are always there to kind of be there for me if I need them, and I'm there for them, and it's a good relationship. So I was very, very grateful for that. So basically within 3 months of getting my job, I was moving, and I was moving to a different place in the country with, there was one friend that I knew there, and that was it. So I was very, very nervous, and I'm so glad I took that leap. And I'll tell you why in just a sec, but it was just so scary, and I cannot stress enough how brave one is if they do move to a different place to pursue their career. So if you've done this, again, let me know in the comments, but good job. Right on. Pat on the back. You deserve it. You absolutely crushed it. So good job. So I'd packed up and moved to a different province, ready to meet new people, living in a different city. I was so excited to see what I could make of myself. But then the world kind of got flipped up on its head.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Yeah, that happened. Now, I know that COVID has probably affected everybody, and I'm not saying I'm special in any way, shape, or form. That's not my point. My point is to tell you my story and to tell you the things that I experienced from my point of view. So after moving from Alberta to my new province of British Columbia, I was in a position where I wasn't able to leave my house and wasn't able to meet anyone. I was lucky enough to have some friends that I had made at work in the short time that I was there and was able to keep in touch with them, and it kind of got me through, honestly. But to say it was isolating and very lonely, it would be a true fact. It was not a pleasant experience. But before we go too far into my story, I just want to say that this is from my point of view. I know that there have been many people, the world has been affected by COVID-19, and I want to give a shout out to the healthcare workers. Thank you for all of the hard work you are putting into this. If you're watching this and you are working in some profession of the medical field, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you've lost somebody in this time as well, I want to say that our hearts are with you, we feel you, and that it's a really, really tough thing, and you're doing well pushing through. So to make a long story short, moving to a new city hit me pretty hard, and it was not an easy time. And to have that much kind of negativity and intense, worldwide crazies happening, I just had to focus in on work. That's all I had. And luckily I was able to work through COVID. I know a lot of people weren't able to do that, so I was very grateful for that, and just Pianote saved me in that way. But it was throughout those 2 years where, 2.5 years I should say, where I really started to feel like something was missing. I was talking to a lot of people worldwide about music, I was making connections, having fun, and meeting some amazing people, and working with some of the hardest working people I've ever met, and the most passionate people I've ever met. But there was still something that wasn't there, and it drove me nuts because I was supposed to like this job. I was supposed to be really into what I was doing and why I was doing it, and it just didn't quite fit. So during my 2.5 years at Pianote, COVID was there for pretty much most of it. And it made me realize that my time is very precious, as with everyone's time. It's very precious. And to use it wisely was probably the best decision. So this idea was gnawing at my head for about a year until I finally kind of had to make a mental shift. And I'll talk about how that went down in just a second. The things I wanted to do in my heart and in my mind, the ideas and the concepts that I had were so important to me, and they kept bringing themselves up in the midst of, schedule, routine, expectation. And it really made me conflicted. I had, on one hand, an amazing job that I was supposed to be loving and supposed to be absolutely flourishing in, and I just felt stuck. And on the other hand, I had these lovely ideas in my head that would never shut up and just wanted to get out into the world. So trying to pinpoint exactly what this was extremely challenging, and I was very frustrated for a long, long time. Until finally, I made the switch. Pianote was an amazing place to work, and I got to learn so many skill sets that I am currently using filming this YouTube video and doing the stuff that I do on twitch.tv/Sam_Vesley_official. Go check it out. One of my favorite moments at Pianote was just working with the community inside of the platform. Inside of that community, inside of that paywall, were a ton of amazing people that were learning and growing their musical skills, and I was a part of that community and was able to really connect with a lot of people from all over the world. So if you're part of the Pianote community, let me know in the comments, say hello, I'd love to see you again, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with the stuff that I'm doing as well, because the more resources you have, the easier it is to learn. So why did I leave? Well, I'll tell you why. The definition of fulfillment can be broken down into, personally, I think, 6 different categories. 1, challenge yourself every day to ensure growth. 2, connecting to something larger than yourself. 3, setting lofty goals and being happy in the meantime. 4, sharing your thoughts and experiences with others through meaningful connections. 5, make a positive impact in the world. And 6, pursue something that you are passionate about. These are the 6 qualities that I think define a person's fulfillment. And at Pianote, as amazing as it was, there was something missing. And the piece that was missing was number 6. Pursue something that I was passionate about. Of course, teaching music and teaching others how to play music on the piano was really close to what I was passionate about. I love piano, I love music, and I love teaching and showing people what I know in order for them to grow and prosper. But what I also love is creating. And the creation part was missing. That was the part that I wanted to really dive into more of. How do you write music? How do you create sound? How do you create your own song and your own special thing? This is where my passion and my fulfillment wasn't being fulfilled. And that's where the decision came. With any business and with any company, there is a lot of really stressful decisions you have to make. As a CEO, as a leader, there's a lot of different challenges. And with COVID-19, there was no exception. Pianote did really well during an online time in COVID, which was great. But at the end of it all, some difficult decisions had to be made, and my position was removed from the roster at Pianote. It was a hard blow. It was really, really tough to take. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was really sad. But on the flip side of this, 2 weeks before I was going to say that I was done at Pianote, I got notified that my time there was done. I would have liked to do it my way in some kind of alternate reality, but there's no bad blood and there's no anger or frustration. And I really do love and appreciate and admire the passion and the goals that Pianote has as a company. And I really hope and wish them the best with every piece of content they make and every single, product they make, because what they're doing is amazing. I just wasn't quite there with my fulfillment. And you know what? Things happen, and that worked out the way it did for a reason. Now, what is that reason? I think this was the universe telling me that it was time to try something new and pursue my goals on my own. With everything that's happened in the past few months, I can only feel grateful, humbled, and really, really excited about what's to come here with this channel, Tonicized, but also on Twitch and on Instagram and all the crazy stuff that we're going to be rocking and rolling. Who knows what we're going to take on next? But I want you to be a part of it. So be sure to follow, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'm Sam Vesley. I'll see you next time. on Tonicized.